Qaid Azam, Part 415. Well, the Himalayas were protecting South Asia for very long, for centuries, but now with the emergence of Air Force, things have changed. Now, with the air power, its strength had decreased, the strength of Himalayas, and its importance has increased. And with the development of nuclear weapons, its importance had become even greater. This was recorded in an essay, Keeping the Peace in India, in 1946-47. The role of Lieutenant General Sir Francis Tucker in East Command. The vital areas was the Tibetan Plateau, which would be the base for any attempt to conquer eastern India, and it was therefore India's prime interest to prevent the military occupation by China of the Tibetan Plateau. China had always claimed Tibet. Her influence at Lhasa was greatly increasing, and moreover, pro Chinese Tibetans were infiltrating into Assam, Sikkim, and Bhutan. There is no doubt as British influence and power withdraws from India, so will Tibet lean more and more towards China. Tibet will lean more and more towards China. Rather than see a Chinese occupation of Tibet, India should be prepared to occupy the plateau itself for an invasion of India by various routes through Tibet would be quite practicable with modern equipment. The old caravan route from Lhasa through Sikkim and the Devangari route could both be easily made passable for modern transport. For the same reason, it would be essential for India to keep the friendship and even active cooperation with the people of this frontier from Nepal to Naga Hills, and particularly with the peoples of Nepal. The presence of large Gorkha contingent in the external defense forces would help in this attaching Nepal to the Indian rather than to the Chinese interest. There is every reason why Nepal should insist that as she holds a great part of the Indian frontier, she should therefore be consulted in India's defense and be allowed to contribute her share. It needs to be reiterated and emphasized that this more expresses the view of Mary Doreen Wainwright, in keeping the peace in India in 1946-47. The role of Lieutenant General Sir Francis Tucker in Eastern Command and General Tucker's service in India. Appendix 10. The long term plan. 9. Unless during the present discussion we can get back acceptably by Congress and League the original plan of the mission as intended by the mission and not as intended by the Congress, HMG, His Majesty's government must accept the fact that mission plan is dead. They must also accept the fact that we have only a very limited period and a very limited power to substitute fresh arrangements. Number 10. The following courses are open to HMG on the failure of the mission plan. A. To re establish their own authority and rule India for a further period. This course they have already ruled out as politically impossible. B. To attempt to negotiate a fresh settlement. This could only be some sort of partition and would at once bring us into conflict with Congress. It would imply our remaining in India to set up the partition. It might be for some years. I do not think that this is practicable policy. C. To surrender to Congress as majority party to acquiesce in all it does while using the little influence which will remain to us for a little time to try and secure what fairness we can for the minorities, the states, and the services. I do not think this an honorable or wise policy. It will end British rule in India in discredit and eventually an ignominious scuttle or dismissal by Congress. There is no statesmanship or generosity in Congress.